Hi guys, and welcome back to Tech Geek. I am back with a very exciting video about the PlayStation 5 controller that was just launched in April 7, 2020. Honestly, I have a lot to say, but what was your first impression of it? Talking about myself, I loved it. I was unsure at first. I'm not going to lie about it, but eventually ended up loving it after reading the whole PlayStation blog post. The feeling of the next generation devices and perfect modern look, this controller is going to make you swan. Today we are going to reveal 21 things that you probably didn't know about this controller, so sit back and enjoy. But before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video. The first thing we are going to look is the size because it matters the most. No exact measurement regarding its size have been provided yet, but the buttons and thumbsticks can be used as a reference to compare this controller with the PS4 controller. Well, what I learned is that this controller focuses on one thing and only one thing: comfort. The border handles, circular shoulder buttons, and the projecting parts of the thumbsticks being a part of the body, adding into the space for the rear buttons, are all new modifications that you will admire like I did. Now looking into the details from the side, you will find that the dip in the DualSense controller has decreased, making it the first ever PS4 controller having no buffer between trigger and shoulder buttons. Now this is something that could further be explored in the coming years, as it will enable the gamers to press both buttons at the same time. Next we are going to move into the face buttons. The color is gone, and it's not the first time this has happened. In PlayStation Portable and PS Vita, the color was removed and the same plastic on D-pad and for face buttons is used, giving a more suitable look. A small but handy modifications have been made to the thumbsticks that is laden with the small star-shaped bumps that provides additional grip during those nerve-wracking moments of the game. Adding to it, you will feel that the bottom half of the controller is also more textured. This controller is also battery operated, but here is the cool part. Unlike the last generation micro USB port that is literally used for everything, we have got the USB-C port that can provide a much higher charging rate and data transfer of 5 to 20 gigabits per second, which is 4 to 40 times quicker. In general, the overall appearance of DualSense controller, its color themes, the shades and even blue lines seems like PSVR headset or PS Vita. Now let's talk about the name, DualSense. The previous two rumble motors providing the origin of the DualShock term have been modified and the sound have been improved. Let's start with the haptic feedback and the triggers. The coil system can enable you to feel the tension in the triggers. An example of this comes from Sony itself, that explains when you pull a bow in the game, the more resistance by the button means more tension in the bow. This change is a radical one in gaming, as it will allow you to feel the different textures and the weight of the objects. Sony focuses a lot on audio, which is quite evident by the audio technologies used in PS5. While we know that the major portion of the audio technologies updates are part of the console itself, the controller also features certain additions such as near-field array microphone and a mini jack. The technology employs a method that it's being used by mobile devices to distinguish your voice from the voices around you. This technology is basically going to turn us into Sony's advertisers. Well, this is going to happen because of the DualSense Create button, that it's a modification of the share button, allowing you to send videos on social media almost instantly, or maybe make TikToks and gifs of humors or an incredible gaming experience we had. Also, you can use this microphone to give a voiceover to your videos. This feature was developed in the last generation and was a huge success, because of which Xbox also followed the footsteps. Voice activation technology is everywhere nowadays, from Siri to Alexa, so why not PS5 controller? This could be used to save your favorite show or game. Another feature that Sony has really worked on is the photo mode, a characteristic under the create button. This feature can be discussed in details after PS5 UI is revealed. Now let's get back into the path of assumptions. First up in this category is the light bar in the PS4 that was heavily criticized for producing a glare on the screen. Thankfully, Sony took the criticism well enough to remove the light bar from the DualSense. But you lose something to gain something. The glare wouldn't be there, but the light bar was used essentially as a PSP for the camera to detect the controller's position. Sony has developed a new controller method for VR and PS5. Also take into account the fact that no proper information regarding the back buttons have been officially provided. Finally, the mockups for different colors combinations have been there in the market for so long, and honestly they all look amazing. So there you have it, the 21 things you probably didn't know about PS5 controller DualSense. Be honest and comment down below how many did you know before. I'd love to read them, and also comment what do you think you know that wasn't part of this video. Time will tell us whether those features prove to be actually beneficial or another flim-flam in the market. I'm personally very excited about the haptic feedback. Let's see how it goes. That's all for today, folks. Thanks a lot for watching.